Farescape Engineers, Inspector Meneses here. Inspector summary video, 59-61 Center Street in Clifton, New Jersey. All right, what we have here is a fire escape. First of all, let's talk about step one. Step one, the guy painted the whole fire escape. Step two, it's nothing but original hardware on this fire escape with some Mickey Mouse, what we call repairs that were done that were basically adding to the work that needs to be done in order to certify. First of all, these treads. You cannot weld clips on top, yet leave all the rust behind. The rust behind is actually eating the steel, and it's going to eat into the rust, and this is an unverifiable welded connection. So we have to break all these welds, re-bolt these treads, clean up all the rust, otherwise you're going to eat the steel. There's a dip. Whoever renovated these, it's common in all these two buildings that somebody renovated these apartments and then they did something on the inside because this thing is dipping. This is dipping about an inch. And so that's not common for there to be a dip. Look how much rust is growing back there. ACs, you can't have ACs in the windows. The only thing you can have on this window is move that AC to this window, or that AC needs to be an inside AC that sits on the ground with a snorkel out to the window. That's the only thing you can have. You cannot block. This is an obstruction, and this ladder is unverifiable up and over because see how it's pulling away from the wall over there? So again, somebody just vinyled over everything. One way to verify the connection is either make a brand new connection, or the vinyl guy has to come in here, remove the vinyl around the connection so we can reattach the connection, then he can put the vinyl back. So we have to coordinate ourselves with the vinyl guy. Platforms are all original hardware, squared, rusting in every connection. So all these connections need to be cleaned. New bolts. The flats on the middle, they don't need to be cleaned, other than surface rust. If there's any internal rust, that needs to be cleaned, and then it needs to be rebolted. This fire escape has lead, but again, there's no paint job needed here, so no welding is allowed on a fire escape that has lead. This has to all be mechanically connected, and again, it's all mechanically connected now. These rivets on these hooks, rebolt. Reinforce if they're in good condition, or rebolt if it's faster, because the original rivets are here. On this side, need a couple more lines and a couple more lines on this side, simply because if a child was to trip going down these stairs, they'd fall through on either side. So you need two more lines so that nobody will fall through. Then you have this platform which is dipping. Also, similar scenario, these cables, these wires are inadequate to control this weight box. It's supposed to be a stiff line of steel on both sides controlling it so that in case there's a release, it drops in here. The cable looks like it's original, looks like it's been switched out actually, but we need to paint this cable and verify that it hasn't penetrated all the way through. Otherwise the cable needs to be switched out. The pinwheel up there is pulling out a little bit, and the pinwheel is a manufactured product. We won't sign off on the pinwheel. We can just make sure it's lubricated and working, but the only way we can guarantee it is to change the pinwheel to a new pinwheel. We've got some rusting that occurred here, some bending, but as you can see, all the platform. This fire escape is going to need to have 50 to 75% of its bolts changed out, cleaned out, and then all these connections need to be sealed with 50-year silicone so that the rust doesn't get back in here. It's one thing to repair a connection, but it's another thing to put silicone in so that rust doesn't get back in there, because trees and leaves and bird poo and dirt will get in here and do that. Again, no paint job needed on this fire escape because somebody painted it, but the structural needs all to be done. Again, Inspector Meneses, Fire Escape Engineers, 1-800-649-3333. Any questions on the technical repair aspect of this, give us a call. Inspector Meneses, 1-800-649-3333. Anything that's related to the bidding, call the owner, submit all proposals to the owner.